Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Just at the outset, say thanks to Graham Coulter for providing the musical interlude. I'm Charlie Kyle. I'm the principal of Innis College, and before we begin, I will give you the statement of acknowledgement of traditional land. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you, and it's so nice to see so many people here for this event. What I think is one of the most important things we can do as a college community, which is to acknowledge officially the achievements of our many students. And I certainly look forward to this event every year because it's very gratifying to know that so many students are doing so many great things, both academically and, as we say, co-curricularly. It's not an easy adverb to say, as you can imagine, in a co-curricular fashion at the college. So I know there are parents and friends and supporters here, and perhaps we can just, before we even begin, just give a round of applause to all of our recipients. So starting off will be our alumnus speaker, Ryan Lammers. I think I taught Ryan back in the day. So Ryan graduated from the college in 2015. He has an honors BA in urban studies and cinema studies and geography. And if he'd only done writing and rhetoric, he could have done the Innis trifecta, but no, that was an oversight. It's not too late. Ryan was sort of the quintessential student leader, has fingered in a lot of different pies. I remember when he was in the course that I taught him in, he said, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and can I announce this in the class? And he was always sort of at the forefront of student involvement. Eventually that manifested itself in him becoming the president of the Innis College Student Society. He was, needless to say, Gordon Cressy Student Leadership Award recipient in 2015, and also would have been at a version of this ceremony when he was, among other things, a Wasser Leadership Scholarship recipient. I was just talking to him about his current job. It's one of those jobs that it sort of defines the new era of employment. It takes him about 5 minutes to say what he actually does, but involves technology. And so his title is, he's the project manager at Sapient Razorfish, which is a global digital marketing organization. He also still gives back to the college in many ways, most noticeably as a volunteer at various mentorship events, and then, or I should say in the mentorship program, but also appears at mentorship events and has been an alumni panelist as well during orientation. So without further ado, I welcome Ryan Lammers, our alumnus speaker.
Thank you. That was probably way too kind. So just really briefly, I'll mention that I believe going to university or college is to fundamentally grow as a person, just overall. And so when I came to the University of Toronto, I didn't exactly know what I wanted, what was going to happen. All I knew was that I was looking to grow. And I still, when I was graduating, didn't really know what exactly I wanted. And I was in this moment in my third year where I was heavily involved with different activities, extracurriculars throughout the college, and obviously my academics. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my fourth year, if I was going to stay as involved. And I ended up getting awarded with the Wasser Award, and that played a huge part in encouraging me to stay involved at Innis and push through that final stretch, and I became president of the ICSS, and it was a fantastic experience. And overall, it ended up actually setting the foundation for my career as a project manager. And really, I mean, if you go back to that, I might not be where I am right now, and lucky enough to be where I am right now. without that experience at the college. So with that, I want to flip this to everyone that's in this room receiving either a leadership award, an academic award, or both, and remind you what that actually means. It means in some way you've, in your time here, in some way you've developed a skill, or you've grown overall, and you've pushed yourself further as an individual. And whether or not you know what that's going to mean in 1 or 2 or 3 years, receiving one of these awards means that you have progressed. It means that you've built something out of yourself, and it proves to everyone around you as well that you're ready to take that next step. So with that, I want to say, first off, congratulations to everyone, but more importantly, cherish that feeling that you have been acknowledged and recognized for the growth and for all the work that you've been putting in, and use it as encouragement to continue putting in that same amount of work. So with that, congratulations, everyone, and good luck with the next steps.
Thanks, Ryan. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Tim Morgan, who's the Dean of Students and Dean of Residents here at the college, and he will be giving out the Leadership Awards.
All right, good evening. I'm going to bring up Sarah Burley-Hollows, the Assistant Dean Student Life, and Sonia Smiljanek, our Residence Life Coordinator, to help me congratulate these award winners. The Audrey Perry Student Life Award. The Audrey Perry Student Life Award is named in honor of Audrey Perry, who served the college as Administrative Officer from 1974 to 1997. That role required Audrey to be the jack of all trades for the college. She was virtually indispensable. The award recognizes the contributions of a commuting student, a student who did not live in residence in the preceding year. And this year's recipient is Brianne Katz-Griffin. And is Brianne with us? Yay! Congratulations. Pose, is Chow taking pictures? Yeah? This is a great shot. This is going on the digital board. All right. The next award is the Dean Gary Spencer Award. Was established in honor of the retirement of Gary Spencer, who was the first dean of the Innis residence, who oversaw its first 15 years as it grew to be one of the most popular residences on campus and a great draw for Innis College. This award recognizes an outstanding first-year student at the Innis residence who completed the year in good standing and who contributed to the life of the residence. And I'm happy to name this year's recipient is Megan Lees. Congratulations. All right, the Edward Moss Davidson and the Hilda Ruth Rose Davidson OSOTF Award. In 1997, the Davidson family took advantage of a funding program of the Ontario government to create an award in honor of their parents, Edward and Hilda. Edward Moss Davidson was the former director of admissions at the University of Toronto, and Hilda Ruth Davidson was a member of the Innis College teaching staff from 1967 to 1976. The award recognizes an academically gifted student who, by her or his leadership, has contributed to the life of the college and or the university and or the community at large. And the award recipient this year is, again, Brianne Katz-Griffin.
Get a picture for each one.
Sure.
Yeah. That's how you
One more
officially
time.
get it.
It's official
It's a
now.
fingerprint thing. Okay.
Yeah, just mix it up a
You
little.
want another one? Oh, they go with it. Music goes with it.
Oh, there you go. Oh. That's good. We have another Davidson scholarship, the Edward Moss Davidson and Hilda Ruth Rose Davidson Scholarship. 20 years earlier, in 1977, the first Edward Moss Davidson and Hilda Ruth Roos Davidson Scholarship was established. It also recognizes an academically excellent Innis College student who has contributed to the life of the college and or the university and or the community at large. And this year's recipient is Orlua Adara. There she is. Congratulations. The Innis College Alumni Scholarship. The Innis College Alumni Scholarship is awarded to a Dean's List scholar and continuing student who has made significant contributions to the life of the college. This year, I'm pleased to announce this year's award is to James Chapman. Get a picture taken.
Well, sure, yeah, go for it. Saw you,
Innis College Gratitude OSOTF Award. The Innis College Gratitude OSOTF Award was created thanks in part to the generous donations of the Innis College Student Society and the 2004 graduating class. The award goes to an Innis College student midway through an undergraduate degree and on the basis of outstanding volunteer work outside of the university. And the recipient this year, again, Brianne Katz-Griffin. This time you should switch. Just to keep Chow on his toes. Perfect. The Innis Residence Leadership Award. The Innis Residence Leadership Award was established in 2014. It is based on an emerging leadership as identified through nomination by peers within the Innis residence. The recipient who is here with us today is Daniel Lee. The Michael Fuzz Friend Memorial Award. The Michael Fuzz Friend Memorial Award was established in 2009. It is awarded to a student past or present from the Innis residence who is based on voluntary contribution has had an outstanding and positive impact on residents' life. And this year's recipient is Janny Chin. All right. The Tattle Creek Residence Life Award. The Tattle Creek Residence Life Award recognizes outstanding Innis resident students who have demonstrated distinguished voluntary commitment to fostering and supporting community life within the Innis residence. The recipients with us today are Orlua Adara, Ethan Kim, Megan Lees, Daria Mancino, and Daniel Lee. Should all come back. Come on up. Oh, Miranda? What did I say? Oh, did I? Miranda Lees. Let's do the handshake. Congratulations. Gather around. Bookend it. There we go. Congratulations. Now to the Wassers that Ryan was referencing in his speech. We come to the Larry and Marla Wasser Achievement Awards. Larry Wasser had hoped to be here for this event, but unfortunately he was unable to join us. These awards aim to encourage student leadership at all levels and in all years at the college. Recipients are honored for their extensive and energetic commitments to leadership. The recipients here with us today are Theodora Pasca, Jenny Chen, and Leslie Ransom. And the Wasser Scholarship. The Larry and Marla Wasser Scholarship recognizes sustained leadership contributions over several years. Candidates have excelled academically and have made outstanding contributions through their involvement in student life, their voluntary activities, and their service to others. Candidates also exhibit the promise of transferring their leadership skills to their community after graduating. The recipients here with us today, Elspeth Arbo, Troy Peschke, and Jess Stewart-Lee. And Jess. No? Oh, the next one. Oh, all right. And congratulations on the next one. All right. I'm throwing it back to Charlie. All right, thank you. Congratulations to all of you.
Now, the reason that Jess's name was mentioned, as you might be aware if you are a program follower, is that Jess is the recipient of the next award, and there will be something of a more elaborate preamble to this, because this is a new award that was sparked by the inspiration of the first editor of what was then called the paper. And the person who's sort of been behind this award, Marilyn Becker, is a 1967 grad, and if you know anything about the history of college, you'll know that she is a member of the first graduating class, which just had its 50th anniversary last year in the spring. And she's now a professor of screenwriting at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. And if you are thinking Becker, heard of Becker before, she is indeed the sister of Jeannie Becker. So I am now going to read what Marilyn has provided me as a preamble to the presentation of the inaugural version of this award. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is imagine this is in Marilyn's voice. You'll have no trouble in the sense she has a very distinctive voice. You can imagine someone who's a professor of screenwriting. She has learned how to craft things with a distinctive tone. But I don't, obviously I'm going to use I for her rather than try to translate everything back to she. So Marilyn had hoped to do this as a video, but had fallen ill exactly at the time she was going to record it. So this is coming, I'm channeling Marilyn Becker here. So, over 50 years ago, in the age of Jurassic technology, rotary dial phones, typewriters, carbon paper, and whiteout, I loved telling stories. Realizing the world was a wild and wacky place, I determined to become a writer, exposing inequities and telling social truths. Little chance of that in what passed for my gulag of a high school, where I was a black-clad, disgruntled poet in a world of fluorescent Barbie and Kens grinning their way through algebra. I longed for graduation because I knew that working on a cutting-edge university newspaper would give me the chance to get into print. But oh, the horror. To my chagrin, I landed in the newly formed Innis College, a flimsy double-wide in the shadow of the glamorous UC Stone Cathedral I had dreamt of inhabiting. And just to explain this to those of you who don't know, Innis College's original location was basically in a Quonset hut in King's College Circle, quite overwhelmed by the grandeur of University College, as you can imagine. To continue in Marilyn's words, Bowed but unbroken, I managed to turn rutabaga slaw into whipped cream by realizing that because nothing was yet established in that virgin place, I could create something new and original. That's what I did. Helped by a coterie of like-minded misfits who also hated high school, I started The Paper, a blue and white broadsheet that eventually became the Innis Herald. Now, from my cozy cottage in Los Angeles, I remember fondly the girl I once was. Starry-eyed, hopeful, and broke. She spent long, thankless hours holed up in the attic of the varsity, grinding out mimeograph sheets celebrating quirk. And I think about some of the things she then craved but could never afford. Hardcover books, a fabulous leather jacket, an airline ticket to exotic places. The list was long. Thanks to the start of my writing life at Innis, that girl, I, eventually got all those things and more. That's why I decided, in memory of that girl, the editor I was, to provide to the editor of the Innis Herald the means of getting some wished-for special thing. This little award must, and here she uses capitals, not be used for practical things. Instead, it's intended for the purchase of something entirely inspiring and soul-affirming, an object, an experience, an adventure. We all need a little something occasionally to remind us that we can have the things we crave if we take initiative and work far into the night doing what we love. So here's to the editor of the Innis Herald. I know you work very hard, and I suspect because of that, you'll go on to do even more and amazing and life-affirming things. Please see this award as a small sprinkling of stardust, a token of wonderful, magical things to come if you pursue them with courage, passion, and zeal. Godspeed, Marilyn Becker. So I'm very pleased to say that the inaugural recipient of the Innis Herald Editors Award goes to an especially hardworking editor, Jess Stewart-Lee. Come on, Jess. Yeah. So, and you're going to have to report what life-affirming and... So now we will move on to the Academic Program Awards. And I'm going to invite Ryan back to the stage to help out by congratulating the recipients of the next two awards. So the first of these is the Frank Cunningham Award for admission to programs at Innis College. Frank Cunningham served as the sixth principal of Innis College from 2000 to 2005. The Frank Cunningham Award for admission to programs at Innis College goes to the students with the top CGPA who entered one of the 3 academic programs at the college this past year. With us today are Hannah Gooder-Graham, that would be a Cinema Studies recipient, and the aforementioned and aforeseen Daria Mancino, who's in Urban Studies. So if the next award is the Weisdorf Bell Family Scholarship for programs at Innis College. This award was established through the generosity of Innis alumnus Mark Weisdorf and his wife Lorraine Bell. It is awarded to an undergraduate Innis College student enrolled in Cinema Studies or Urban Studies with a cumulative grade point average of 3.70 or above as they pass their 5th, 10th, and 15th courses completed. I hope you got all that. Okay. So the recipients are, for Cinema Studies, Jacob Beimers. For Urban Studies, the ever-popular James Chapman. And for Cinema Studies, Lakota Rich. Thank you, Ryan. Oh my goodness! I just saw, I just saw the image of. I'm sorry, but I only know Mark Weisdorf in his current incarnation, and so was that a Movember shot? Or did they have that then? Okay, well, returning to some semblance of seriousness, I'm now going to invite Professor Stephen Tanney to congratulate the recipient of the next award. So the next award is the Aaron Abraham Tanney Scholarship in Cinema Studies. This award was established in 2003 by the Tanney family in tribute to Aaron Abraham Tanney, who exemplified a passion for film and for a career in cinema. The Aaron Abraham Tanney Scholarship in Cinema Studies is awarded to a third or fourth year undergraduate student in cinema studies who has demonstrated exceptional academic excellence. The recipient who is here today is Xiao Yun Kim. We hope. That's interesting. And is there, okay, just to be sure, is there any chance Yu Xing Shang is here? No. Okay, sorry, Steve. Well, I'll shake your hand and thank you so much for.
Nice to see you.
Yes, yes. All right. So for the remainder of the Cinema Studies Awards, I'm going to ask Kay Armitage, Cinema Studies Professor Emerita, to join me on stage to congratulate the recipients. And the first award is the Linda Schuyler Cinema Studies Award. The Linda Schuyler Cinema Studies Award is awarded to an academically deserving undergraduate student enrolled in a major or specialist program in cinema studies who is entering third or fourth year. This year's recipient is Rachel Gao. You should stay right there. And I will just mention that Linda Schuyler will actually be here in this room next Tuesday on November 28th, along with Tassie Cameron. So I'm doing a little plug for an Innis event. And if you're interested, please just let Ben Westrate here know, and we can get you registered for that event if you haven't heard about it otherwise. Okay. The next award is the Nathan A. Taylor Scholarship in Cinema Studies. The late Nathan A. Taylor was a pioneer in film exhibition and distribution in Canada. He was the founder of the Cineplex Odeon Corporation, which established the Nathan A. Taylor Scholarship in Cinema Studies in honor of his 80th birthday. The award goes to an academically excellent upper year student who shows promise of making a significant contribution to the field of cinema studies. And with us today is an Innis College fixture, Sarah Ann Dobby. The next award is the Adam Magoyan Cinema Studies Scholarship. The Adam Magoyan Cinema Studies Scholarship, which was established in 2009, came about due to the generosity of Canadian filmmaker Adam Magoyan. It's awarded for academic excellence to a student accepted into the graduate program of the Cinema Studies Institute, and in particular also recognizes a student's broad interest and study in related discipline. This year's recipient is Mint Marcellus. The next is the Cinema Studies 30th Anniversary Award. This award is given to an academically excellent undergraduate student in cinema studies who has been accepted into a graduate program at the Cinema Studies Institute. And here today with us is Marlo Munn. No. Here today is not Marlo Munn. I believe Marlo Munn is the recipient, though. Yes, okay. So the next award, and we couldn't be luckier than to have the very named originator of this scholarship, is the K. Armitage Scholarship in Cinema Studies. This award was created to honor Professor Armitage, who served as faculty member and director for both Cinema Studies and Women and Gender Studies, programs that I should add she also helped to create, and who also served as acting principal of the college in 2010. The award goes to an outstanding graduate Cinema Studies student who has accepted an offer of admission to the master's program at the Cinema Studies Institute. And today, our recipient is, I will say this, Morgan Eli Jenkins. Because you get the picture with. Next, we have the Norman Jewison Fellowship in Film Studies. The Norman Jewison Fellowship in Film Studies is awarded to an outstanding student in cinema studies who is graduating or who has graduated with a specialist or major in cinema studies and is proceeding to do further study in film and related media. I should point out that the recipient does not need to go into the program, the graduate program at U of T, but in this case has done so. And the recipient is Scylla Park. And then finally, we have, I hope so. No, but she was going to come. Oh, she's there. I knew it. She told me she was going to come. It shouldn't be like, oh. So the last Cinema Studies Scholarship is the Robert Lantos Cinema Studies Scholarship. This scholarship, which was established in 2007, came about due to the generosity of celebrated Canadian producer Robert Lantos and is awarded to an outstanding graduate student in cinema studies. And the 2017 recipient is, fresh from her being in a TA training session, Muga Tufeng. That is. Thank you very much, Kay. And now I'm going to welcome our registrar, Donald Bohr, to present the admissions award. And I'm going to stay, and now I get to shake some hands over here and get my picture taken.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. Don't get everything confused. So the first award is the John W. Brown OSOTF Award. And this award was established to honor John Brown's 14-year tenure as the fifth principal of Innis College from 1984 to 1999, and it was created through the generous donations of John's colleagues and friends around the campus. The award is decided on the basis of outstanding contributions made to the life of the new student's high school and or community through his or her leadership. And the winner of this award, I was fortunate enough to run into this afternoon, so I know how to pronounce his name correctly, and it is Michael Farinyuk. Way to go. Next, we recognized a few students for the Innis College Admission Scholarships. These are the college's very own admission scholarships, and we have a few students with us here today. We have one, and that would be Amine Kato. The University of Toronto Scholars Program is a set of awards, admission awards, that are given out on the basis of exceptional academic achievement in high school, and there are 3 here today. So I would like to call up one at a time. Rayan Hu. Inna Makarenko. And Nancy Zhao. The President's Scholars of Excellence program selects approximately 50 outstanding new University of Toronto students and recognizes them with this distinction, which not only carries an award, but also special opportunities for employment and international learning. And here with us today are 2 of these recipients, Sarah Jana Avery and Ian Luo. New this year, the Lester B. Pearson International Scholar Program is intended to recognize international students who demonstrate exceptional academic achievement and creativity and who are recognized as leaders within their school. A special emphasis is placed on the impact the student has had on the life of their school and community and their future potential to contribute positively to the global community. There were only 37 recipients of this brand new award this year, and Innis College is fortunate enough to have one of them, and that is Judith Fernando. We now move to the in-course awards, and the Evelyn Cotter Book Award goes to the Innis College student who has demonstrated through diligent work in the Writing Center a commitment to achieving excellence in writing. This year's recipient, Andre Fast. The Harold Innis Foundation OSOTF Undergraduate Scholarship is awarded to an Innis student with an outstanding academic record who is concentrating in the social sciences. And this year's recipient, Madeline Friedman. The J.J. Stren OSOTF Award. The late Jacob John Stren was a student of Harold Innis and graduated with an economics degree. Mr. Stren was a very active member of the Harold Innis Foundation, and this award is decided on the basis of excellent academic performance, and this year's recipient is Yichun Zhang. Next is the Robin Harris Memorial Scholarship. Robin Harris served as the first principal of Innis College from 1964 to 1971. Innis College established the Robin Harris Memorial Scholarship in his honor. This award goes to an outstanding Innis College student specializing or majoring in the humanities within the Faculty of Arts and Science, and this year's recipient is Calder Oaks Morton Ferguson. Get it right without stuttering. The T.A. Reid Scholarship was donated by the late Mrs. Claudia Reid to honor the memory of her late husband, Thomas A. Reid. With a truly interdisciplinary spirit, Thomas Reid pursued diverse interests at U of T in the middle of the last century, and his wife was a kind and generous friend of Innis College. This scholarship is awarded to the continuing Innis College student with the highest cumulative grade point average in the college, and this year's recipient is Yichun Zhang. Thank you, Charlie. I would now like to call up Robert Patrick. And while he's walking up, I'll just say a few words about Robert. Robert Patrick graduated from Innis College in 1967, and he is now its class representative. If you're wondering who drafted the Constitution for Innis College, it was Robert. If you're wondering who came up with the colors, navy blue and Kelly green, it was Robert. And if you're wondering who decided on the name in the competition decided the name of the newspaper that was called the paper and became the Innis Herald, it was Robert. So we're awfully glad he's here to shake a few hands. So thank you, Robert Patrick. And just so you know, he's also now on the College of Electors for Governing Council at the University of Toronto, and he won an Arbor Award in this year. So the first award recipient I would like to call up is, okay, the Innis College Alumni Association scholarships. These are made possible through the generosity of the Innis College Alumni Association, and they're awarded to Innis College students in the Faculty of Arts and Science for outstanding performance. With us today are Alida Maria Bourson, Yingxin Sui, thank you to Janie Chen for helping me pronounce some of these names. Hilary Ann Hagar, Stephanie Kroon. And Rudy Roots. The Innis College Alumni and Friends OSOTF Awards, as the name suggests, exists thanks to the generosity over the years of the many friends and alumni of Innis College. They are also awarded on the basis of outstanding academic performance. And with us today is, Rudy Roots. Come back. Sorry, that's a lot of exercise. The Innis College Anniversary Scholarships come to us thanks to the funds raised from students, alumni, staff, and friends of Innis College during its 20th, 25th, and 40th anniversary celebrations. They are also awarded on the basis of excellent academic performance, and basically by this, it means that these students have at least a 3.7, which is well over the Dean's List minimum requirement. And this year's recipients who are with us today are Abhinav Chawla, and Chunfu Liu. The Innis College Exceptional Achievement Award, also for outstanding academic achievement, is possible thanks to a very generous contribution from the Innis College ancillary budget. The recipients with us today are Hirotaka Ishihara. Yeah. Wei Yi Jiang. Brian Knopf. Who may have had a class. Daniel Lee. Jiaying Li. Christine Magbatang. Julie Wang Shi. Yi Yang. And Heng Zhu. Thanks, Robert. Next, I would like to invite up Merle McMurray. Merle is the Vice President of the Later Life Learning Organization that, please, yes, that in the spirit of lifelong learning, Later Life Learning hosts multiple lecture series here in this town hall, and has since the early 80s. So thank you, Merle, for being able to make it and for shaking a few hands. First, I would like to recognize the Later Life Learning OSOTF Award. This award goes to Innis College degree students in the faculty who have demonstrated outstanding academic performance, which means that they have at least a 3.7. And this year's recipients with us today are Alida Bourson, James Chapman. Oh, there you are. Ziming Cheng. Again, maybe a class. Maddie Friedman. Stephanie Kroon. Daniel Lee. I'll shake your hand. Dong-Yan Lin. Christine Magbatang. And Yichun Zhang. Yes. And the last set of awards for tonight is the Later Life Learning Scholarship. The OSOTF award that we have just recognized was established in 1998 through an arrangement with the Ontario Student Opportunity Trust Fund of the province of Ontario. But well before that, in 1986, the Later Life Learning had set up its Later Life Learning Scholarships. And the arrangement was always, considering how grateful we are to later life learners for their contributions to our scholarship funds, that these awards would go to the students with the very highest grade point averages. The names that you're going to hear are students who have, if not a perfect GPA, then practically a perfect GPA. So let's start by calling up Chen Hui Chen. There are some classes that start at 7, so we may have lost. Yang Wen Chen. Ziming Cheng. Fulun Li. Dongwan Lin. Ziyang Lin. Akshat Kumar Nigam. Next time. Next year. And Jeffrey Chen Wang. Thanks, Merle. Sorry,
Why have only one alumnus or alumnus speaker when you can have two? We're covering, I say this charitably, sort of two ends of the spectrum in terms of graduation time, a fairly recent graduate, and then a graduate from, yes, a little early ago. Joanne's like, so Joanne Uedi graduated from Innis College a little bit before Ryan in 1969. She graduated with an honors BA in English language and literature. And she's had an extensive career in education administration, holding positions at York University, Ontario Teachers Federation, and she was the president and CEO of the Canadian Education Centre Network. I think one of the first people I came to know as an incoming principal, and a more generous and gracious welcome could not be offered than I got from Joanne. She is a former president of the Innis College Alumni Association. She is a former president of the University of Toronto Alumni Association. And she is the first Innis graduate to serve on the governing council, which she did from 1983 until 1989. She is, of course, an Arbor Award recipient, And more recently, she has represented Innis on the College of Electors for Governing Council. She currently serves, I would say quite, I hope, proudly, and I'm proud to have her as a principal's appointee on Innis College Council, and she's also a board member on the Harold Innis Foundation. And she's just a delightful person all around. So, Joanne Uedi.
Very much. I'm just going to sit down now so that you'll all really like me. Those are very kind words and richly undeserved, I must say. The one thing that you did omit is that my husband and I both went to Innis, and I'm happy to say I can see him in the back row there. It's just like he's an undergrad again in the back of the class. You know? It's true that both Joe and I have been strong supporters of Innis, but he surrendered the podium to me under pressure, I think. But as other people will attest, he's been a frequent attendee at Innis events, and I have to say, I thought it was sort of a romantic overture, and my heart was aflutter. But then I realized, no, he really, really likes film, and he loves the Innis film screenings, and he was extremely keen to come and hear Andrew Coyne for the Harold Innis Foundation lecture. So it wasn't about me. And more to the point, tonight is not about me or Joe or us. It's about these wonderful, wonderful students here, their stellar achievements as award winners. And it's just a delight to be here. On behalf of Joe and myself, sincere congratulations to all of you award winners, to your parents and to your families. You presumably have your parents to thank for the strength of your genetic makeup. You make us proud to be Innis alumni because I hope that people will think I'm as smart as you all are. You're just part of the reason for my longstanding involvement with U of T and my commitment to Innis College. Both Joe and I prefer to spend time with clever, accomplished, and very young people. Hope springs eternal that some of that cleverness and some of that accomplishment will rub off. I think the youth part is a little more challenging, but we'll leave that. But what else has drawn me back to Innis? What's kept me engaged and involved? Well, I think it was Charlie who alluded to the fact that when we were students, there was no building. So it's not bricks and mortar that bring me back, but rather the people that I have had the privilege of meeting and working with through all the years of my involvement, and the exposure to a richly diverse community with a host of opportunities for lifelong learning. I've always believed that I had a wonderful, wonderful education at Innis, but in my professional career, where I became familiar with universities across Canada, universities and colleges across Canada, and universities and colleges overseas, I came to realize how well respected this university is, and that in fact, Innis, happily, is the jewel in the crown. In today's environment, there are many, many competing demands on people's time and money, and all of them are, I am sure, very worthy causes. But to me, it's important to give back to a place I hold dear in my heart, a place that shaped me as a human being, warped as I may be, and helped me enormously in my career. We haven't given enough money for Innis to change its name. Christmas is coming. But we do have a chair with our names on it here in the town hall, so that's a beginning. And I really, really hope that an award winner is sitting in it. I hope that all of you who have won awards tonight will remain steadfast supporters of the college in whatever way possible. You have a great deal to offer, And I can tell you from my own personal experience that you will reap many, many rewards. Congratulations again, and thank you.
So it's left to me just simply to wrap up, but before I do that, I want to give thanks to a number of people without whose contributions this would definitely not have happened and not happened to in the smooth way it did. First of all, I hope you noticed the very lovely slides that were presented and moved almost magically as the names came up with his clicker in hand. The sartorially resplendent Ben Weststraight. And I think standing at the back, somewhat shrouded in the shadows, but rather inappropriately so, our events maven, the person who makes everything just click together perfectly, Marta Switzer. And our alumni maestro, Innis. And of course, thanks to the various presenters and those people who originated awards who are able to be with us here tonight. I just want to say one more time how important it is to us that we have such a wonderful collection of students. I mean, the college is ultimately only here to serve its students, and we couldn't be happier that you chose us as your college. So I hope you'll remember that. We may not have a chance to say it every day. That's partly why an event like this is so important. You are what makes this college great. I mean, we can do whatever we want to support you, but ultimately it's your achievements that matter. So I hope you will remember that, and you'll take forward that knowledge with you as you interact with others in the university community, because it's not just that you're standard bearers for the college, it's that the university is itself made up of the colleges, and you make the college. So the university depends on you for its greatness ultimately. So we can't thank you enough. I hope you'll stick around for the reception that follows, and there is a photo area just by the elevators, and it's a great opportunity for those of you who've received awards to have pictures taken with me if there's nobody better. But more importantly, with your friends and your family. So do take that opportunity, especially if you dressed up, but even if you didn't, it just looks great to have a photo of this event. So thank you all for coming. Congratulations again on your achievements, and have a great evening. Thanks.